Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Morning Tea. Thank you for joining me. My name is Tracy V. I am a impact strategist, speaker, author, and educator. Today, I have with me Maryann Cruz. Maryann Cruz is a business strategist and a coach, and a friend of mine. I met Maryann through LinkedIn. I literally sent her a friend request and she got in my inbox and she's like, hey, I checked out your bio and I think we should meet, right? So when I think about Maryann, I literally think about someone who's a connector because on our first meeting at Panera Bread downtown, right? She connected me with I want to say 5 different people that from our conversation, she was like, oh, I think you should meet this person. I think you should meet that person. And literally did the warm introduction via email or through LinkedIn. And some of it worked out, some of it didn't, but she's always trying to connect you to someone else to help you to elevate your brand, your business, or just find new information or make new connections. So again, today our guest is Maryann Cruz, and that is why this is called Creative Collaborations, because she's very creative and she is about collaborating with other people to build her own brand and build their brand as well. So Maryann, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good morning, and thank you for having me here. This is fantastic. So I am a business strategist and coach. I help entrepreneurs gain clarity and momentum in their business, and I do it through basically strategies. So the development and execution of strategies, and lots of collaborations. So I love connecting people. So this is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm glad that, it comes through.
Yeah, it does. It really does. I'm always seeing you collaborating with someone. I always see you trying to connect people together, and you do one of the things that you do is that you have a group called Ladies Night Out, where you get women together. I've been to some of your luncheons. I've been to some of the online events that you've had lately as well, where you try to get people together and discuss their wants and their needs and try to see who you can partner with each other in order to build their brand, build their business, make a new connection, make a new business bestie. So tell us a little bit about your group.
So it's called Ladies Night Out, and it started off just as that. Women need self-care, and part of that self-care is sometimes going out with the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Having some time to just talk over drinks as to what's going on at home or what's going on in business. And just being able to be yourself and not constantly have that professional, let's network professionally, just do it authentically. So that's what it is.
Okay, great. So let's talk about how you became an entrepreneur. What did you do prior to entrepreneurship, and how did that lead into your entrepreneurship journey?
Okay, so that may take a minute. Let's see. So about 20 something years ago, I was actually a full-time college student and working full-time. I worked for a company in the state that actually was known as the 800 hotline for Connecticut. And it was being able to provide them with licensing, registration, information on funding, resources, everything that you needed to start, expand, and relocate to the state. And so as part of that, I fell in love. I fell in love with seeing the things that entrepreneurs went through, right? Mm-hmm. So the obstacles and being able to provide them with the resources, it filled me up. But I was going to school, and so I did get my degree in hospitality and tourism. So I figured, okay, let me venture out. And I then pivoted to use my hospitality and tourism degree. And it was tourism, right? So I thought I was going to travel the world. And, destiny had other plans for me. So I actually met my husband and stayed here. I've been here ever since.
Oh, wow.
I've been here my whole life. So, but in between the 20 years, it was, everything that came my way, every opportunity, I knew that I would grow from it. So, I mean, I've been an HR manager, accounting manager, B2B IT specialist, you name it, I've embraced it.
That's great. That you are not afraid to try new things and learn new things, because a lot of people are afraid of that. Like I never understand how someone gets a job and work at that job for 30 years and have never tried anything else. That's just a foreign concept to me. I'm like, when I'm on a job, I get the 2-year itch, So after 2 years, I'm like, oh, it's time to do something new. I think my teaching job is the job I stayed on the longest, for 15 years. And in 2 years, I did have the itch. I had the itch every single year after 2 years. So I'm happy to hear that I have another kinship where, there's someone else who's like trying different things, because life it's a playground. Why not try new things,
It is.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you say that. I think that's why we get along so well, because for me, it was the 3-year itch. Right when I got around 3 years, I already knew. I'm like, you're either going to put me in a different area so that I can learn something, or I'm out.
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember telling my principal in several locations, I'm like, I'm bored. I said, every year I teach the same subject area, the same subject matter. Like, I can teach this class with my hands tied behind my back and blindfolded. I don't need to write another lesson plan. I know everything there is to know that is in the literature books and everything that's in the grammar, usage, and mechanics books. I can teach writing to a 3-year-old. I am bored. I need to do something else. Please put me in another department, in the English department. But eventually I just had to say, okay, a series of other events happened and I was just like, okay, this is my out. So let me take it, because sometimes we get comfortable, we get complacent in a place, and then we feel stuck and we feel like we're imprisoned and we want to know why we're unhappy. You're unhappy because you don't like what you do anymore, So you did all these jobs, and then how did that pivot you into entrepreneurship?
So I think that's the reason why I embraced everything, was because I knew that ultimately I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew that being in a regular 9 to 5, it wasn't for me unless I had my hands in everything. And realistically, over time, that gets tiresome. Yeah. So entrepreneurship just, I think the point was 3 years ago, I left corporate. And the reason why I left corporate was because I can see that there were shifts coming. And so my husband and I had that conversation of, okay, you're working between 50 and 60 hours. Now you're working the weekends. We have 2 little guys that need your attention. So, what gives? Right. And it was, okay, you're right, valid point. And I've always been helping others. So, why don't you follow your passion, was ultimately what he asked.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. And then what's your return on investment?
Right. You were like, he said to you, you were helping all these people for free. Why not turn it into a business? Right. And yeah, I remember you telling me that. So you started your business 3 years ago, and I know it's evolved somewhat in the last 3 years, because when I met you about 3 years ago was when you were just starting your business. And I know you were more doing marketing at that point in time. Right. Now you're doing more business consulting, and you're opening your own co-working space. Yes. So tell us about that shift from marketing to business strategist, and now to co-working space.
So marketing was, when social media first was very popular, I was a virtual assistant back 10 plus years ago. That was the first time that I tested the entrepreneurial waters. And back then, my focus was social media, managing social media accounts for businesses. And so when I, decided to do entrepreneurship again. First, it was a creative, well, not a creative, but we were doing a fundraising campaign, crowdfunding site.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then it evolved to people asking me, hey, how do you do this in marketing, right? Or how do you leverage your social media? Or how do you know what the target market is? And so I started off with that because I knew that,
Right.
but not because it was, my true passion.
Mm-hmm.
My passion has always been strategies and project management and being able to not only connect the dots, but let's move things ahead and forward and execute.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how that came to be.
Okay.
And then 11 years ago, believe it or not, was
Mm-hmm.
when we first started hearing about co-working.
Mm-hmm.
And back then we didn't have the funds, to purchase something, and co-working was foreign. Nobody really knew what that term meant in this area.
Right.
And so my husband was like, we're not doing that. We are not venturing and doing that. And then this year, he came to me and was like, hey, what do you think about doing some, a creative space, some co-working, and some, space for creatives to get creative? And I was like, wait a minute, is this really you? Are you, what happened here? But I was like, yeah, absolutely. And so we closed on it on, I like to say it was Valentine's Day. It truly was Valentine's Day that we closed on it. And it was, we thought everything was going to align. This is our passion, right?
Right.
And then the pandemic hit.
Yeah, COVID happened.
So we were on track to open April 1st. So April Fools to us.
Wow.
But it's allowed us to pivot one more time. So we are doing a soft launch. So we are doing a virtual soft launch coming this week. And so we're going to have office hours virtually. And we have resource partners that are coming on board. So we'll have the majority of the services that would have been available, and through our brick and mortar online.
Really? Oh, that's nice. That's one of the questions I was going to ask you. How have you pivoted? Because I would think that having a brick and mortar pivot into a virtual space would be hard, but you guys have adapted really well. How do you think that this pandemic or this whole situation with COVID, because they're talking about really not eliminating this virus, or this virus not being eliminated from the population for maybe another year, so there's going to be some form of social distancing or some type of, apprehension to be close to people. How do you think that's going to affect the brick and mortar aspect, co-working space? Because, co-working is about co-mingling. So,
right.
Yeah.
So I think that for us, it's actually to an advantage because our space is very quaint. So we have 2,200 square feet. And so it allows we have 6 private offices and 2 conference rooms. And our conference rooms hold 10 people. So, it's not like we're going to have hundreds or even, over 30 people in our space at any given time.
Right.
And, the purpose of having the space be 2,200 square feet is the fact that we want to grow. This is just phase 1. Phase 2 is to actually get studio space for our creatives.
Okay.
So,
and when you say creatives, exactly who or what is a creative?
that's a great question. So creatives, the way that I define it, is, anyone that you would think of as a creative, right? So there's the regular ones, which are, photographers, videographers, designers, people that are in culinary arts, right? So anything that's art-based. But I also think of coaches. I think of authors. I think of those people that are constantly just ready to spark their next idea and come up with something and ready to collaborate, ready to get things done, but in a very different and unique way.
Okay. And so why them? Why not just a regular creative space like everyone else has? Because you
So
touched on it before. So I think it's something that we need to talk about, because a lot of people, like next week, I'm doing a workshop for the New Haven Library about doing market research. And what you're about to talk about goes right into that, knowing who and what, doing your market research to figure out what the gaps are in the market. So tell us why creatives, what did you learn? Because I know you did your market research.
anybody that knows me knows I love data.
Right. You did your market research. So what did you find out and why them?
So actually there's two things. One is I've always loved creatives, right? So someone who comes up with something from a different perspective, I absolutely admire. And I'm not creative. So I may be creative when it comes to collaborations, but to, do something just brand new, out of left field, it's not me. And so because I am very strategic, I like to have the data to build on it. So one is their passion, just their way of life, their way of being, but also they're the type of people that have so many gifts to bring to the world, to each other and to other business owners, to other entrepreneurs. And when it comes to them, they bring their gifts, through what they're doing and not necessarily want something in return. And because of that, there's that, they're not being paid or they're not asking for what they really should be asking for. And so with my experience, I realized that the things that come so naturally to me, it's something that they struggle with.
Right.
So why not, be able to help them ask for their value, be able to help them market and come up with the collaborations, right? Because when you have a photographer can quickly utilize a videographer. And if you're an author, you can use a designer, right? So being able to have everyone in-house and work together is just, to me, it's magic.
Right. And a lot of times I know, because I can consider myself a little bit of a creative, right? It's hard to find other creatives to collaborate with, or the right creative to collaborate with, because sometimes you have to kiss many frogs to find your prince, right? So that is a great way to have, like, kind of validate that this person is good at their craft, because you're watching them every day or every couple of days or whenever they come in, and you can have conversations with them and build that rapport and have a referral system where you're referring them to other people that you come in contact with and them doing the same thing. So I think that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I really, really think that will work out. And I'm really happy to hear that you have pivoted and you guys are doing it online, because I was just like, wow, they're just starting out and now they're in the building. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. Pivoting your business is such an essential skill to have right now. I see a lot of people that are not pivoting. They're just waiting for things to go back to normal. But this is our new normal. Things are not really going to go back to the way they were prior to this pandemic. What advice would you give entrepreneurs currently, like waiting or not really growing their businesses, not taking the time to restructure that business plan, restructure that strategic plan, their marketing, their products and services to adapt to the new normal?
I would ask, what are you waiting for? And I say that because, I get it. I get being afraid. But for me, fear is, let's take a step back, right? Let's first educate yourself and then react, is how I view fear. So we're always afraid of the unknown. And what better way of becoming familiar with the unknown than just diving in and getting to know it? So I know for me, one of the things is being able to network and collaborate being able to tap into the professionals and experts.
Mhm.
And the way that that starts is just by a simple email or a call, or even asking a friend, like, who do you recommend? What are some suggestions? But this is the prime time to work on your business. As you said, what's your marketing strategy? What are you going to do once this finishes? I like to say, okay, start tapping into your long-term goals. What are your long-term goals for your business and for yourself? This is the prime time to start working on those things.
Or reevaluating them.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is it, because I know a lot of people are waiting for, and I think our state is unique in the fact that no unemployment checks have been given to self-employed individuals. None, right? Massachusetts have been giving them out for the last 5 weeks. They applied 3 days later. They got their checks. Something is wrong with Connecticut, right? PPP loans are coming in very slowly. A lot of people have not gotten their EIDL loans. So pivoting right now, if you don't, you're going to end up losing everything that you've had. So maybe something like your creative space is something that people need to kind of like jar, their creativity. Sometimes you need to be around other creatives or people who are creative, if you're not creative yourself, to kind of get that injection of creativity that you need to actually move you forward or propel you forward. So let's say that I wanted to, good morning. So let's say that I wanted to become a member of your online platform. How would we go about doing that?
So I am having, actually we're having, because my husband's going to join me, we're going to have an info session on Monday. So I believe it's posted on C3 Collab. We have a Facebook page. So it's posted there, and we'll be providing information, but we do have a virtual membership now.
Oh, you do?
We do.
Okay, so tell me what that entails.
So the membership will include accountability. So we'll have office hours. We'll have virtual office hours on a daily basis. We'll start off our week with people letting us know what their goals are for the week, and then we'll check in on them on a daily basis if they'd like, to ensure that they're reaching their goals or actually working towards them. We're going to have a feedback room, a meeting room, networking room. So several rooms for people to actually connect virtually. So we'll do that through Zoom, and then we'll be utilizing Slack, so that if you have a marketing piece and you want somebody to review it for you, you'll get the community's feedback on it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's different. You definitely have thought about this through. Yeah, having those meeting rooms, and I think a lot of people don't realize that Zoom has breakout rooms.
They do.
Into. I mean, it's going to cost you a little bit more, but you do have those breakout rooms where people can go in to have private conversations and collab separate from other people if they want to talk about something private. So that's awesome. Okay, so what else do you want us to know about you and your business and your ventures and what you're into?
What am I into? Okay. No, just kidding. That's a whole nother hour.
I know, huh?
Let's see. I just want people to know that, there's resources out there for them. So not only me, but, there's SCORE and the SBDC and Women's Business Development Center. I like to tell people, tap into those resources that are free, get your foundation built. And then, when you're ready for something different, or you say, I need more, that's when I welcome people, because I know that they're ready. Right? You're ready to move forward. So feel free to connect with me anyway, whether it's Maryann Cruz business strategist and coach, or as, co-founder of C3. We're here looking for resource partners. So if there's anybody out there that would love to be a part of the creative collaborative and, has something to offer our creatives, please let's connect and let's have that conversation.
What exactly is a resource partner? What are you looking for in a resource partner?
So other professionals that would be able to provide something to the group. So whether you're a marketing specialist, a strategist, if you are in insurance and, may be able to provide some information to our creatives in regards to insurance, looking for people that can help publish books.
Okay.
Right? So those are the types of people that we're looking for, even bankers, because our creatives need bank accounts. So
right now, I think more than ever, people are realizing that and I'm so sorry I'm about to say this, their businesses are crap, right? Because it has not been set up correctly. And I think more than ever right now, people are realizing that I need help. I can't get any of this funding because I don't really have a business. I have a hobby.
So there's that, and there's the fact that even if, and I've heard this, even if you've been in business for 20 years, if you've never have taken any line of credit, right? Or if your books aren't up to where they need to be, then how are you able to apply for funding?
Well, the line of credit is not a problem because they go based off your personal credit. But if your books are not your accounting system is not in place the way it's supposed to, that is definitely going to hurt you. And that's where a lot of businesses are faltering. They don't have a good accounting system. There's no checks and balances. There's no profit and loss statements. There's nothing. There's not even a business account. So they're commingling funds constantly. And in commingling funds, then the federal government determines that you don't have a business.
Right.
You have a hobby. Because there's no demarcation between your business and your personal funds. And so we need businesses to get it together and get the help that you need so that you are really legitimately having a business. When you go to buy a car, when you go to buy a house, when you go to do all of these things, or if something like this should happen again, that you are ready. All your paperwork is in one place. You have that corporate binder. I'm like a big proponent of a corporate binder, whether it's digital or physical, and you actually need to have both, that you have it in place so that your business is legitimate.
So with you saying that, we're actually looking for bookkeepers as part of the resources, because we will have virtual assistants to help our creatives as well, so that they're part of the community. Again, it's part, we want them to not only strategize, but execute. So part of the execution is having the resources for them to tap into.
Right. Awesome. That works. That's great. That is amazing. Okay. So Maryann, I want to thank you for being a guest today. This was very informative. I love your transformation or your journey from a corporate to entrepreneurship. It sounds a lot like mine. I get that 2-year itch. You had the 3-year itch. Just doing a lot of different jobs, learning a lot of new things, and taking everything that you have learned throughout the years and creating a holistic business where you can serve or make, like I like to say, make impact in our community, because I would put you in the category of a social entrepreneur more than a regular entrepreneur, because social entrepreneurs are invested in the communities that they serve and wanting to uplift that community and the people that they meet. So yeah, I love everything that you're doing. And so if you want to join the collaborative, it's called C3 Collaborative, correct? It's on Facebook. You can go on over there, like the page, and go to the information session on Monday. And it doesn't matter where you live. Yes, we're in Connecticut, but you can be, for the virtual part, you can be anywhere in the world and connect with other creatives and build something special, because, having those partnerships will help you to definitely elevate your business. All right. You can, again, go to Facebook, C3 Collaborative, like the page, find out more information. You can email Maryann at Cruz at maryanncruz.co or visit her website at maryanncruz.co. All right. Thank you for joining us for Morning Tea, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye. Thank you.